What is up? Welcome in to Driving the Line. I'm your host, Allan Bell, and you see beside me my man, Zaslow, the legend of sports radio. Zaz, first off, man, before we get to anything else, cannot thank you enough for joining our squad here and introduce yourself a little bit to the audience and exactly who you are.
AB, great to be on with you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to do this show today, filling in a little bit for my guy, Coach. I got Zaslow Show 2.0. Obviously, we're based here in South Florida. I'm a Miami guy. I've been doing Miami radio for almost 2 decades now. I got Zaslow Show 2.0. You can get anywhere you get your podcasts every day, Monday through Friday. I also do a pro wrestling show on the weekend called It's Still Real to Me. You can get that everywhere you get Zaslow Show 2.0, wherever you get your podcasts. And you could hear me on ESPN Radio. I'm on there 3 or 4 times a week. So that's what I got going on, AB, outside of hanging out with you guys here. I'm excited for today.
All right, dude, I'm excited too. And I was going to say, man, is there anything else that you cover and do? Dude, you've got a full ass slate, man. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. I had a busy weekend too. So I'm excited to talk about everything going on, especially Championship Sunday. I'm all over the place right now. It's good.
Hey, I love it, man. You're doing a great job. And anybody who who listened to South Florida radio and the ticket down there, my man was literally the OG of all of it. So
thank you. Thank you. Yes, 100%. we had a good run at $7.90 the ticket. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a fun time.
Dude, you crushed it for a long time, man. All right, before we get into it, let's take a look at our recap and how we did on Sunday here. And we've got a couple slides. Let me just say this. Thank God that Coach and Schwab picked me up, man. I had a brutal Championship Sunday. We wrote those two right there. Coach was all over Travis Kelce, all over Jared Goff. Great plays on that one. The Schwab goes 1 for 2 in college basketball as well. Now, I'll tell you what. So, Coach, let me just go ahead and say, and we can pull it back up here. Coach is traveling from his golf that he was calling over the weekend. So you have me, substitute teacher here, AB. No rules. We're just going to break it down. And Zaz, I'll tell you what. Before we get to the NFL, let's bring up the Cruise play of the day, the options that we have. So we've got 4 in the chat right now on the poll. All right, so here are your options. Vote, and at the end of the show, as we always do, we will select the highest voted option and go from there. So you have Duke -3.5. You have Houston -5.5 against Texas. Nikola Jokic over 27.5 points at -115. And Kevin Durant over 2.5 threes at +145. So those are your 4 options. Vote in the chat now. And as we always do, we will hit this at the end of the show and see what the pick is. But Zed, we got a Super Bowl. All right. And believe it or not, there's a team from Kansas City that is back. And as me and Coach were talking about yesterday, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, they're kind of like Ric Flair. You want to be the man, you're going to have to beat the man. You're going to have to take this title belt off of the waist, and nobody seems to be able to do it. So it opened at 2.5 as the 49ers as a favorite. I believe we now sit the 49ers a 1-point favorite and a total of 47.5. So I'll stop there. Let me throw it back at you. Just seeing those numbers, 49ers 1-point favorite, total 47.5. What are your thoughts here?
Well, my initial thought is I wish I would have jumped at 2.5. All right, because now I got to play the Chiefs, because here's the thing. It's got that. I look back at yesterday's game, and how did we all not jump on Kansas City +4.5? It's one of those deals where you can always look back. Oh my God, how did I not see that? It was so easy. And yesterday I feel like was one of those instances where if somebody is giving you Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, if they're giving you 4.5 points, who cares where the stakes are, where the game is, who they're playing? Just take it. That's a gift if you got Patrick Mahomes and you're getting points. So I wish that I jumped on it when it was 2.5 already in the Super Bowl, but even at +1, I still like the Chiefs at +1 because I feel like at this point, if you're going to be given points with Patrick Mahomes, it's a gift, and you're silly not to take advantage of it.
You're 100%. And you know what's funny? Howie Schwab said the exact same thing yesterday before the games. He was like, if you're going to give me Patrick Mahomes with points, I'm going to take it every single time. And not that Coach and I doubted it, but exactly like you said, it's in our heads. Why did we just bet it?
Like I doubted it. I feel stupid. I doubted it. I doubted it yesterday. And you look back, it's like, Why didn't I see it? It's so easy. 4.5. Patrick Mahomes. What was I thinking? Well, I wasn't thinking straight, clearly.
I'm telling you, man, I was right there with you. It just, you look at it afterward, and like you said, you're like, man, I am a dumbass. What in the world was I doing? Why didn't I bet this? I'm with you. And here's my thing with the 49ers. Obviously, a great football team. But what we've seen from the Green Bay game and then yesterday against the Lions, yeah, they made great comebacks. I haven't really seen many teams do that against Kansas City. And I have to give Steve Spagnuolo credit because Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, they get the limelight, and rightfully so. Patrick Mahomes, all time, right? Dude, Spags' defense for the Chiefs, it shows up, and they play over their heads in every big game. Every time, man. Like, this team is complete. They're balanced. They go about their just game style how they normally do. They don't try to do too much. And Patrick Mahomes, man, like on third downs, he's always been obviously Hall of Fame level with that. He's even more, man. I'm with you. It just feels dumb not to bet Kansas City.
It has, to me, we're at the point where he's got that Michael Jordan thing going to him, Patrick Mahomes. And what I mean is, whatever the circumstances are, he's going to win. When the game starts, you're afraid. When you're the other team, like if I'm a Niner fan going into the Super Bowl, I'm afraid. There's that aura, and it's like, how are we going to beat that guy? And by the way, they definitely felt the same thing a few years ago when they lost in the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes, and he had the game-winning drive, against those 49ers and Garoppolo. I feel like it's the same thing where, how are we going to beat this guy? That's how I felt all throughout the 90s when my team, which of course the Miami Heat, if you're playing the Chicago Bulls, how are we going to beat that guy? And it doesn't matter what year we're talking about, where the game is. I think it's silly to bet against Mahomes anymore. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to lose games. He is going to lose games, but I'll believe he's going to lose when he actually loses. So I can't go against Mahomes anymore. And look, AB, as talk show host, what do we love more than anything? We love as much as air. We love being right. We love being right. But I'll raise my hand here. I was dead wrong, and I've been dead wrong about the Kansas City Chiefs all year long. I thought they were not the same team they've been in the past, and they're probably not the same team they've been in the past. But it doesn't mean that they're not getting back to the Super Bowl, because they're there, and I think they're going to end up winning it again. And I think it'd probably be the most impressive of their Super Bowl wins, considering where they've come from and having to win 2 road playoff games to get there as well.
Yeah, I think you just brought up an excellent point. And look, let me say you're right. They're not the same team as they've normally been. And that is all the credit to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and everybody. I mean, look how many people have been gone. Tyreek Hill out of there, right? Eric Bieniemy out of there. They just keep going. It doesn't matter if it's an OC, if it's a wide receiver, if it's the offensive line, whatever it is, they get the job done. And Travis Kelce this year was not the same Travis Kelce until the playoffs started about midway through that Dolphins game. And then the dude just turns into to Travis Kelce all over again. And I got to give credit to the NFL. Forever, they've been trying to get Taylor Swift to play the Super Bowl. She won't do it because, quite frankly, what does Taylor Swift have to gain from anything? And now they get Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl publicity for free because Travis Kelce is playing in it. The NFL, at the end of the day, always wins, man.
AB, I like the Taylor Swift stuff. I know people that like they get all nutty on social media. The NFL fan is all offended over all the Taylor Swift stuff. I don't know. I think it's fun. Like, I'm into it, man. I like it.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. Like, it's something completely different. We've never really seen like a celebrity, like girlfriend or boy, whatever, like at this level. And I have to give CBS credit. Yesterday, I think going into the game that they understood that there was some Taylor Swift fatigue from like a portion.
You're 100% right.
And they didn't go crazy with it, right?
You're 100% right.
Yeah, yep. I was watching with my old man, and as soon as Kelce scored, he goes, "Here it comes, Taylor Swift." And they only did it once. And I was like, all right, CBS, well done. Like,
they did not overdo it. You're 100% right. Did you see this one shot when they're on the podium and Jim Nantz is up there with Andy Reid and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes? And there's this one shot. I mean, credit to the photog who got it. It's from the field level, and it's behind Taylor Swift, where she's watching on the field right in front of the stage. And it's a shot of Andy Reid pointing at her. And from over her shoulder, she's pointing back at Andy Reid. It's such a cool shot.
It is, dude. It is. It's like she's like part of the team, you know?
She's their mascot.
And I'll say this. They could get as many shots of Jason Kelce as they want. My man is going to be fired up in the Super Bowl, in the stands or a suite or wherever they have him. If I had his career and had a brother that was doing the same thing, you better believe I would be deleting all the beers in the stands. We would be going nuts.
And he's such a good brother. He's wearing Chiefs gear at the games. Like, he's such a good brother.
He is, man. He is. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's get into some picks for today. First off, let's give out Howie Schwab. He has one college basketball pick, and he's going to go with Texas plus 5.5 against Houston today. You see it right there on the screen. Houston obviously being one of the options that we have there for the cruise play of the day. Schwab going Texas here plus 5.5. All right, Zaslow, I'm going to throw it over to you, man. You got two NBA plays for today. Break them down, buddy. What you got?
Yeah, I got two plays, and both of them are just as much about the team that I'm going with as the team that they're going against. So we start out with Rockets +1. The Rockets have been an excellent home team this year. They're one of the best home teams in the Western Conference. They're hosting the Lakers. Now, look, this is a play really for both teams. I like the Rockets at home. They're a very good defensive team at home. The Lakers are not good on the road, but here's also the thing. The Lakers had a huge effort a couple nights ago. They had that overtime win, 1-point victory against the Warriors, 145-144. I mean, can somebody play some defense? Every one of these games are in the 130s and 140s. And LeBron had, I mean, just a game for the ages for someone of his age. A triple-double with 20 rebounds. Are you kidding me? I expect a little bit of a letdown game from LeBron as well, after showing out with that kind of performance a couple nights ago. So I really like Houston on their home floor, +1 tonight. And I also like the Utah Jazz -1 at Brooklyn. I think the Brooklyn Nets are one of the most disappointing teams in the league this year, all right? They were a playoff team last year. Mikal Bridges had a terrific final half of the season with them after the Durant trade, and he's a nice player. But Brooklyn has been a big-time underachiever this year. Utah, you could say, has been an underachiever as well, but they've finally gotten it going. They had a double-digit win on the road a couple of nights ago. I think Utah's hit a stretch here where they're starting to make a push. So Utah giving just a point at a Brooklyn team that is not any good. I like the Jazz on the road this night.
You're exactly right on Utah. It does feel like that this is kind of a corner turning point, right? That they kind of figured these things out. So I'm right there with you. I love those two plays. Just one for me. I've got just an NBA 2-leg parlay here, and we're going to keep it simple. All right. We are going to ride Nikola Jokic over half of a three-pointer until the books change it back to 1.5. That is where the books sit constantly. Do they put it over 1.5 at plus money, or do they leave it at over half of a three and it's sitting about -180 right now? So we're going to parlay that. We're not going to play a -180 on threes. We're going to parlay that with CJ McCollum of the Pelicans over 2.5 threes. Your man is generally good for 6, 7, 8, sometimes even 9 attempts in a game, depending on where New Orleans sits. We played him over 2.5 the other night. He ended up with 2. I believe he ended up 2 for 7 or 2 for 8 from 3. He generally doesn't have 2 bad games in a row in regards to firing threes. So we're going to parlay those two together. Jokic over half of a three. CJ McCollum over 2.5 threes. Put those together. You get it at plus 175. All right, Zaslow, I got to say, man, any final thoughts that you have? We're going to jump into some of our guys for soccer and NHL. But first off, I have to say thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to doing it again. And man, again, where can everybody find you and your fantastic work?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, AB, and I'm looking forward to being on with Coach next time when he's not busy traveling the world with all the golf. I mean, I know he's the main man when it comes to golf. Listen, you can listen to me every day, Monday through Friday, Zaslow Show 2.0. We're Miami-centric, but we cover everything. Also, outside of sports, pro wrestling, music, movies. Everybody loves all those things. I cover all the things that everybody loves. So you can listen to Zaslow Show 2.0 wherever you get your podcasts, and you can hear me very often on ESPN Radio. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm on ESPN Radio 4 straight days at the end of this week. So, yeah, you can check me out there. And on Twitter, I update all my information everywhere you can hear and see me, AB. I put on social media. That's an easy way for people to know what I got going on. And I'm at Zaslow Show on Twitter. That's it. That's what I got.
Dude, hey, you got a lot, man. And I'm going to tell you, like, if anybody doesn't know, I've been a fan of Zaslow for a minute, man. As soon as Coach was like, hey, we're going to have him on, I was like, do that. And
Thank
get
you.
him as many times as possible, man.
I love what you guys are doing here. No, it's you guys are going to be great. I love what you're doing here. It's going to work.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Well, Zaslow, thank you so much, buddy. And we will see you next time, man. Thanks. All right, so let's jump right into it, man. Our man, Jacob Rebb. All right, let's talk a little. You know what? I'm going to get out of your way, my boy. First off, you have been, if anybody doesn't know, Jacob, our brand manager, has been crushing so many things behind the scenes. I have to give him his props on that because I know that you might not see everything yet, but our dude is killing it. So, number one, well done, buddy, on that one. And number two, let me just get out of your way because everybody in our audience knows I can barely spell these soccer teams, much less pronounce them. So, I'm going to let you do it, man. What you got, bro? I think you're muted. I can't hear you. All right. I think you're still muted. I can't hear. All right. See if you guys can figure that out. All right, so yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to pronounce these already. Yeah, there you go.
Hello. Can you?
There you
go. Are we alive? Are we there?
We're live, baby. You got it.
I'm so sorry about that. I have no idea what was going on. So I'll get right into it. Trabzonspor. I'm taking their team total over 1.5 goals here. They're playing Kasım Pasha, who gives up a ton of goals. We've seen them give up over 1.5 goals in half of their games. We've seen the over hit in 7 out of 11 games. So I'm just all over Trabzonspor. They sit in third place. Great home team, taking their team total over. AS Roma, this game versus Salernitana. Last time we took AS Roma, they cashed for us. Daniel Del Rossi has been doing great as their new head coach. I think with the time they have left, they're going to make a real run for a top, playoff spot, top 5 finish here. And I think against this 20th place Salernitana team, they're going to, perform better on the road. Salernitana gives up a lot of goals. 4 out of the last 5, 3 out of the last 4. We've seen them give up 2 or more goals. So because of that, I'm going to take Roma team total over 1.5. I like Roma -1, and I like game over 2. I think that game over 2 is a gimme. I'm really going to hammer that one. And then my last play is a 2-leg parlay. It's Blackburn versus Wrexham. I'm taking the Blackburn team total over 1.5. They said a full 2 leagues above Wrexham. Well, Wrexham is making a run. Blackburn has turned their focus to the FA Cup, and I think they dominate this Wrexham team. And the PSV Willem game is in the Netherlands. PSV Willem, they're just high-scoring games. Netherlands known for high-scoring games. We've seen that in 4 out of the last 5 games have 4+ goals. So over 2 looks like a gimme here. So I'm going to be over Blackburn Rovers over 1.5 goals and the PSV game over 2. And that's going to be a parlay. So I know a lot of plays, dug through it. I'll make sure to put them in the chat. You guys can follow them on here. And yeah, that's it for me, AB.
Nice, man. Well, good to see you, buddy. And let me say,
Thank
I'm
you.
glad that worked because there is no way in hell I would have pronounced it. Well, I could have got AS Roma. All right. I'll give us a credit on that. I could have got that. But yeah, that first one, Trabzonspor. Nope. No
what
chance.
I was saying before was the whole time the show's been going on, I was hitting the pronunciation button to practice the sayings. So I didn't murder them the whole time. So
hey, that's solid, man. That's good work. All right. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank
All
you,
right.
B.
Yeah, man. All right. So let's get some more here. And look, we attempted on Friday. We had some technical issues here, but my man, Charles Meshell, coming through, a new guy to the crew. I'd like to welcome him in now. Charles, what's good, buddy? You doing all right?
Oh, great. AB, yourself?
Man, I'm doing good, buddy. Doing good. All right. So give the folks, man, a little intro about yourself, what you do, where you from, what you got.
Oh, yeah. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. I was fortunate enough to have an uncle that owned and trained racehorses at Louisiana Downs. So I got my first introduction to gambling at the racetrack, graduated to video poker, casinos, got bored with roulette and blackjack, stumbled across sports betting in 2000. That was the year that the Ravens won the Super Bowl. We still had Kobe, Shaq. It was the end of the Yankees
That
dynasty.
was the end of the era, wasn't it?
Yep, that was the
Really?
last year that they won it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I stumbled upon that, and in 2006, I stumbled across my first World Cup. So that was the Zidane headbutt, and then after that, I was hooked on that sport. I realized that it was year round, no off seasons. You could really perfect your craft year round. There's always a tournament or a league going, and then ever since that,
Well,
really
let me say,
dove
I'll
into
jump in
it.
right here. My man has been breaking these things down, similar to how I have been in this game for a minute. Wasn't always legal, but we were in this game for a
Right.
minute. I remember in high school, setting up everybody with parlay cards legitimately. And it was like, look, football practice school ends at 3:05. Practice starts at 3:15. I need you to drop these cards in my locker. You're like me, dude. You've been in this game for a minute, and that's why I've been wanting to get you on so much. And you break down sports that, again, quite frankly, I can't pronounce. So I'm going to throw it over to you, man. You got some picks today. What you got, bud?
We're going to move over to Portugal. We have a match that kicks off here shortly. Australia versus Benfica. Benfica enter match day 20, a single point back of Sporting in the Premier table. The Eagles now make that trip to Australia, who are winners, or actually Benfica are winners of 14 of the last 17 league matches and have scored at least 3 goals in 6 of their last events in all competitions. Benfica has especially enjoyed facing off with this Australia side as well, having scored 7 goals in their last 2 meetings after the cellar dwellers earned promotion. Australia, they come into Monday's encounter winless in 5 straight, but the hosts are averaging 1.1 goals while on their home pitch. So I am expecting plenty of action in this contest. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over 3 total full-time goals. I could definitely see a 1-3, 0-4, at worst, maybe a 0-3, 1-2 type of match. Then we're going to move on to the later card. We have Sporting, who welcome Casapia. Sporting, now they start the match day knowing they need maximum points, with Benfica right on their heels as well. And they're coming off a frustrating cup loss last week to Braga, where the Lions just could not get a goal past, even though they generated tons of shots. Now they get back to business today. They were on fire before that last week encounter. They had scored 3 goals in 4 straight matches. In 8 of their last 9 league matches, they've exceeded over 2.5 goals. Sporting are also averaging 2.7 goals scored on their home pitch and a total match average of 3.5 goals. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and take the host. Sporting team total over 2.5. I definitely could see a 3-0, 3-1 type of match as well.
Nice. I'll tell you what, man. It is nice to have someone else country as hell on this show. I love hearing it, especially breaking down global soccer, man. It is fantastic, dude. And Charles, man, it's so great to have you. You're going to be a part of this show moving forward, man. So awesome to have you and to be hosting on your first day officially when I didn't screw up your video. So glad to have you on here with us, man. Charles, thank you much, buddy. We'll see you soon.
It's definitely my pleasure. Best of luck to everyone on your wagers today.
There we go, baby. All right. Charles Meshell right there. All right. So we're at the end of the show here. Let's bring up that recap screen one more time for anybody who didn't get a chance to see it and take a look at our picks at what we have here. All right, like I said, man, NBA parlay plus 175. Jokic over 0.5 McCollum over 2.5 threes. Australia, Benfica over 3 minus 115. Sporting team total over 2.5 minus 110. Our man, Jonathan Zaslow here, Rockets +1, Jazz -1. I'm not even going to try to pronounce what Jacob has going here. Lig Trabzonspor. All right, I had to do it. Team total over 1.5. And then you see Roma, Salernitana over 2. AS Roma team total over 1.5. AS Roma -1. And the Schwab, our man, is on Texas +5.5. All right, let's pull up our options here for the cruise play of the day. And you guys have made it clear exactly what you want to play, and that is Nikola Jokic over 27.5 points for the game tonight. We're going to also obviously play him on threes. Could you pull that screen up for us real quick? So we could see exactly what the 4 options were. We're going to go, like we said, Jokic over 27.5 points, over Duke -3.5, Houston -5.5, and Kevin Durant over 2.5 threes. So Jokic over 27.5 points at -115. All right. That's all the damage we could do for today. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be live at normal time, Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Coach will be in his normal hosting position. But I hope you guys had a little fun with me and some of the boys today. So, till then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks.